It was an ordinary Tuesday morning, a day that typically unfolded with a slow, predictable rhythm following the chaos of Mondays. I had just settled down at our kitchen table, the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee wafting through the air, accompanied by the familiar sight of my breakfast: eggs perfectly scrambled, toast golden brown, and a glass of orange juice glistening in the sunlight filtering through the window. Little did I know that this seemingly mundane routine was about to shatter into a million pieces. As I took my first sip of coffee, my then-wife placed a thick envelope on the table between us. The casualness of her action was jarring, and I instinctively raised an eyebrow, expecting her to offer an explanation. "Sign these," she said, her tone flat and devoid of emotion. At first, I thought she might be handing me some insurance forms or a harmless request, but as I peeled open the envelope and read the words "petition for divorce," a cold wave of dread washed over me. My stomach dropped, and my heart raced as I looked up at her, searching for some hint of a joke or a reason that would make sense of this moment. But there was none. She simply sipped her orange juice, her expression indifferent, as if nothing was amiss. I was left grappling with disbelief. When I managed to stammer out a question, asking her why she would do this, her response was chillingly simple: "I'm not happy." Just like that, with those 3 words, she dismissed the life we had built together. There were no long discussions leading up to this point, no signs that our marriage was on the brink of collapse. It felt as though I had been blindsided, thrust from a warm cocoon of normalcy into a harsh reality where everything was about to change. What stung even more was the ruthless efficiency with which she executed the separation. She had come armed with a lawyer who approached divorce like a cutthroat competition, and I found myself on the losing end of a battle I hadn't even been aware was happening. In an instant, I lost our house, half of my savings, and even our beloved dog, who had been a constant source of joy and companionship. And just like that, she vanished from my life, leaving no trace, no contact, and no opportunity for closure. It was as if she had never existed at all. The subsequent years were a whirlwind of rebuilding and rediscovery. I poured myself into my work, striving tirelessly to lift myself from the ashes of that broken relationship. With each promotion and accomplishment, I felt a small victory against the pain she had inflicted. I moved into a new apartment, one that felt like a sanctuary, and adopted a new dog who brought laughter and warmth back into my life. I even ventured into the world of dating again, tentatively allowing myself to hope for genuine connections. I was no longer the shell of a man who had sat at that breakfast table, paralyzed by shock. I had transformed into someone who had endured, adapted, and emerged stronger, albeit with scars that would always remain. And then, 3 years later, I encountered a ghost from my past. I returned home from work one evening, weary but satisfied with my day, only to find her sitting on the steps outside my apartment building. She looked like a specter of her former self, thinner, with sunken cheeks and a pallor that suggested a life lived in hardship. When our eyes met, she burst into tears, the dam of her emotions breaking wide open. For a moment, I was caught off guard. A part of me, the part that had once loved her, urging me to stop and listen. She recounted her tale of woe, revealing how she had moved across the country in search of a fresh start after leaving me. She had hoped to find happiness and fulfillment, but life had dealt her a harsh hand. The money she had received from our settlement evaporated faster than she had anticipated, and the man she had left me for had turned out to be a deceitful scam artist, draining her financially and leaving her destitute. As she spoke, I felt a strange mixture of emotions swirling within me. Part of me was sympathetic, recognizing the pain and desperation in her voice, but another part couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. After everything she had taken from me, could she really expect me to swoop in and save her now? "You took everything from me," I said, my voice steady but edged with bitterness. "Now you want more?" Her response was a torrent of tears and pleas, a chorus of regret and sorrow. She claimed to have made a terrible mistake, that she had no one else to turn to. In that moment, I felt an unexpected sense of liberation wash over me. I owed her nothing. I had rebuilt my life without her, and I wasn't about to let her upheaval disturb my newfound peace. I allowed her to cry for a moment, the weight of her despair hanging in the air, but then I gathered my resolve and said, "I hope you figure things out," before turning and walking inside, closing the door firmly behind me,